Ms. Janie Hughes. Welcome, Janie. You'll have 3 minutes.
For the record, Joni Hughes.
Janie Hughes.
In
I'm
this,
sorry.
not a problem. In this materialistic world, quite basically, there are 2 things that people are going to wind up paying for regardless. The things that they absolutely need and the things that they absolutely want. It has been unfortunate for the past 20 some odd years since Capital Metro took over Austin Transit that there has been a continuous burning of the bottom, but that's what poor people are for. The war on poverty, the war on drugs, the war on crime. It's not a war on that. Those are the weapons. I'm not feeling too well right now. I have a lot of things to say, but I'm just going to go ahead and read a couple of things and let this go because y'all are going to do what you want to do. When Kirk Watson was running for mayor, he said, tough love with Capital Metro. Conduct a performance audit, give them goals, hold them accountable. After letting people vote on it, start light rail. So regardless of what people say in their vote, we were going to have light rail. Now, Capital Metropolitan Transportation Authority Citizens Advisory Committee, August 27, 1988. Bobby Burrell asked us to withhold conversations regarding the board of directors until the meeting was adjourned. Jacqueline Block sought reimbursement for her cab fare since she missed her bus, which was running 4 minutes early. I was staring into the doleful eyes of Audley Blackburn's seeing eye dog. Tony Kaniski was making his presentation when I looked up to hear him say that service had been decreased by 20%, perhaps 10, I can't remember, and to hear him say that the ridership had increased by 11%. My mind was still trying to figure those figures when that very tame dog took a light bite of Mr. Kaniski's leg. Now, y'all know a seeing eye dog, they have a tendency to be very docile. They have to. You don't have to read between the lines if you don't want to, but I've been riding the buses now. I wrote this in 1988. At that time, it had been 20 years. And I've watched as y'all have, that armadillo, the dillo was cute. It must have been expensive. You broke up a lot of rides so that people would have to transfer and be counted as more than one passenger. For instance, the Gold Valley 300 used to go all the way out to North Cross Mall. And I had mentioned the note of racism. Y'all don't need to get upset when I call you racist or something like that, because you could not possibly be more racist than I am. Is that my time?
That is your time, ma'am. Thank you, Jody. Hello, there it is. Robin Orlowski, you're next, and you'll have 3 minutes. She's like, sorry.
Is it on?
It's on right now. Welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Robin Orlowski, and because I have epilepsy, I must use Capital Metro services. This is not an option or an extra. I must use Capital Metro services, and because of this, I am very concerned about the potential proposal to altogether delete my yearly disability pass under the guise of fare restructuring. I must use this card for my bus services, and because of this, I'm among the people who is proposing a fare increase from $5 to potentially $25 or $35. It would be more than I'm currently paying, but it would be necessary for me to get around town because I do not have an option of saving up for a car. I just don't have that. I have to use public transit services to get around. I have even had a seizure in front of Mr. Martinez in front during a city council meeting, and he has personally seen it. I emailed him about the fare increase, and he did not seem responsive. I have also lived in Denton County, which has demographics similar to Austin. They have 2 colleges. They have a facility where people with disabilities live, but their public transit fares are much, much higher than Austin's. Their yearly pass is $800. So again, I think that we could afford a $35 pass increase here in Austin, and I would be willing to, I personally would be willing to support that $35 pass, even though I'm not as expensive. A $35 pass is much easier to budget for than a monthly dollar pass when you live in an apartment, when you have to pay for neurological services because of your epilepsy. It is very important that you consider your client base. I have to be a client of yours. I do not have an option. I must use Capital Metro. Therefore, it's mandatory that I have affordable, accessible public transit. Please do not cut me off. I have given the board handouts that I have researched. Thank you very much. Please research them, and please keep a yearly pass.
Thank you, Mr. Orlowski.
Our lives are at stake.
And for the subsequent speakers, if you'll just keep the mic a few inches away from your mouth, it's very sensitive when we're getting some crackling and feedback in the audio. We want to make sure that folks watching on TV can hear your testimony and we can hear it here. The next speaker is Pat Burrell. Welcome, Pat.
Okay. Close up the mic right here, is that?
It's right there. There you go.
Oh, is this?
You don't have to get down on it, Pat.
Oh,
It'll-
okay, so that good right there, okay. You know, in your materials, I just some reading I'd like you all to actually consider. It has to do with some of the points that Joni just made. Raising the paratransit fare and raising the fare for the seniors and the disabled, the elderly, to rather ride the fixed route to some extent, yeah, that's okay, although I don't think you should raise as much as what y'all are raising it here in this proposal. But however, raising fares for the low income, the disabled, senior transportation dependent passengers who have no other way except the bus or the paratransit, while cutting the price for the class of individuals who ride the rail, normalize it, however you want to say it, that is not right. Now, you want to comply with what Sunset says and actually increase your revenue, that's fine. But you cannot give preferential treatment to a class of individuals, passengers, who had other alternative transportation arrangements. Those people that ride the train, a lot of them drove their cars in Leander, took the express bus, which I understand there are never many express buses now. But you can't give that kind of treatment to them and at the same time expect the low income, disabled, and the elderly to make up for the cost loss because you're going to cut these train fares, and so now we have to end up making up for that difference. Doesn't sound equitable to me. I don't know how much you're cutting the train fares because it wasn't explained very well. Maybe it was on the graphs, but they should have explained it to us. I think it would be a lot more equitable if you just maybe raise the transit booklets, maybe $1.50 instead of $3, the monthly passes, maybe $2 instead of $5. But what I really find strange here is that the staff did not, in the proposal, have a discounted day pass, a discounted weekly pass for the people that ride the fixed route, disabled and elderly. Under the FTA, they have something called a half fare requirement. Those passes should have been in there and they're not. Really kind of disappointing. I'll tell you that if CMTA conducted a real, actual equity analysis, is actually what they're supposed to do, they submit this to the FDA, I really would like everybody here in the public to be able to see that, because the results of what they're doing right now sure don't look too equitable to me. So what I would actually like you all to consider is, if you're going to raise the fares for us, raise the fares for the rail also. Don't give them the preferential treatment. I don't think you want to get into those kind of issues. But Joni already explained it, where subjecting the low income to more bus transfers, that's not equitable or sanctioned by the FTA either. So anyway, that's what I got to say.
Thank you, Pat. Next